In this video, I'll look at attenuation in lights. I've taken some of my up spots here and cloned them over to Building 3, naming them Building 3 Uplight and letting the numbers be whatever they are. With these lights though, I've got a little problem here, and I'll show this by hitting Render. I've set up a render region, and what we're going to see here is although the lights look nice down below, those lights keep going on. They're not shadowing, and so I get bright under here, in this area of the building that sticks out, these blocks, and it's a little bit unnatural. I like the way the light blooms along the surface, but I'd like it to stop after a point. So here's how we handle this. In a light then, attenuation is an absolute limit on the length of a light in the scene. We have near and far attenuation. Does the light ramp up with the near attenuation, starting from nothing and coming into full power? Far attenuation says out to the start of the far attenuation in scene units, have full strength. At the end, stop that light absolutely. I'll use far attenuation, as I want it to start strong down here at the base. I'll turn on Show and Use. I'll need to hit Escape to get out of that region render. If you're clicking and wondering, why can't I find something or click on it, hit Escape. You may have a region still active on your screen. I'll show the far attenuation and turn on Use. And what we can see here in my scene is a small white dome. That's the start of the far attenuation at 80 inches. And a pale tan dome, we'll call it up here, the end. That light now stops absolutely at 200 out. I'll run a quick render and see how this looks. What's apparent almost immediately in the test render here is that the light is no longer hitting the upper reaches of the building. This left side of Building 3 in the center of my render region is, well, black. Down here at the base then, there's my lights. They start out strong and fade out. Okay, so I need to fix this. I'll take this start and end out. I'm going to try a start of the far attenuation at, I don't know, 240, 20 feet. I'll take the end out as well, trying 480. Now I can see where these domes go, and pretty clearly this light is going to fade off over distance because of the decay and be limited by the attenuation range out to, call it the 4th floor, stopping cleanly before it hits the underside of the balcony and before it hits the underside of these blocks. Here in another test render, I'm going to see a dramatic difference. My building is still nicely black next to the lit windows, and there's the lights coming up the side and fading off smoothly. Good overlapping lines of light and arcs here on the building that stop right there. I could bring this out a little bit longer. Here's an end for comparison of 720 or 60 feet. I'll render it again, pressing F9, and see how this looks. I think this is doing it. I've got good light extending up the building, but the top of it is really left alone and dark, so the lit windows can extend up into the sky with black space between that merges perfectly with the blackness around and reinforces that, well, I'm in the city at night, camouflaging again that I don't have much city really here to deal with. I'll try just for grins a full screen render, switching my area to render from region to view and hitting render. Once in a while, try a full-size render, just to see how this looks. It's important to try a full render occasionally, even though we're testing with small regions, just to make sure there isn't any odd overlap of light or strange bleeds going on that you don't really see because you're testing a small area. This is coming out nice. I've got pools of light in front of the buildings, but dark windows. Lots of light going on here in the tram stop, and dramatic uplights on the buildings, fading off smoothly into the darkness. I haven't turned on my street lights yet, so any illumination out here in the street is purely from the sun, and that's what I'll handle next in placing my lights. I'll probably use spots in the same way, putting them up at the light head and having that light spread out, giving me pools of light and areas of darkness out here on the street. I like how the drama's working though. It's okay to have some black, as long as it's got a counterpoint of white in the lighting. So I'll get the rest of the lights in, using attenuation and decay if I need, to make them stop at a certain point, so I don't destroy that blackness out here in the distance.